Welcome, all you scouts and scouters to the Oregon Trail Council's Fireside Chat. This is Wednesday at some particular date in August. I'm kind of one of those old guys sitting around. One of the things that I miss is this sort of thing, which is the commemorative cups. Okay, this is from Camp Tuscany in Italy. I think some of you probably have similar sorts of things, but I sure miss this kind of good memory. Tonight is about good stuff. We wanted to share with you what's happening on the membership side of the house. It's good stuff. I wanted to share with you what's happening on the roundtable side of the house. It's good stuff. Scott has some good stuff from outside the council that reflects what we're doing. And did all of you get a chance to see the blurb, the release today, that Troop 282 out of the Greenwood district is going to be in Scout Life magazine? That's good stuff.
Nice.
That's good stuff. So McKay, you might want to use that as part of your bit for roundtable. You know, it's good stuff.
They're not just in it, they're on the front cover.
Yeah, they're on the cover.
That's a big deal.
Than that? The only thing could be better than that is if we had say a pack out of Riddle on there as well. You know, that would be great. That would be great. And then maybe a ship out of the old Uquina district. So lots of possibilities. Scott, I'm rambling. Can you tell us the good stuff that's happening across the council?
Yeah, I'm going to start with some information that a lot of people would look at and say, well, it's not good stuff, but I believe it is, because where it's taking us and where it's going to enable us to move forward in the near future. I was on a phone call today, a couple of phone calls actually, Zoom meetings with the national office, and then with ad hoc committee that's associated with the BSA bankruptcy. And it's good news to me, because the indication today is that things are getting closer and closer to a global resolution to the bankruptcy. I will mention that on Friday, you'll probably see information come out nationally that talks about the solution, the commitment for the settlement. And that is based on $500 million aggregate contribution from the 251, I think it is, councils moving forward, and then 250 from national, and then another 100 that's related to the pension that I won't go into. So you'll see that they probably will have publicized contributions of each one of the councils. I'm happy to let you know that our board knows that amount. I will reveal it to you guys, and because it's going to be coming out soon anyway. The Oregon Trail Council contribution to the settlement is based off of basically three things. It's based off the statute of limitations in the area that we serve. It's based on the number of claims, and it's based on the financial stability of the council. And those three factors, we had a committee that put those three factors together, figured out the formula, and had a settlement amount for each one of the councils. Our settlement amount is 3.1, just over $3.1 million. You had options, each council had options as to how they wanted to take care of their portion of the settlement. Is that going to be in cash? I think 50% of it has to be in cash, but it could be cash, it could be property that you could make available to the contribution as well. Oregon Trail Council has the money, has the cash to take care of that. So at this point, it's more than likely that our settlement will be in cash. And then we'll take a good strong look at probably what's going to happen is that money is going to come out of our endowment, And then we'll take a good, strong look at how we as a council build up our endowment. Because our endowment does have an impact, not only on scouting now, but it has a huge impact on scouting for the future. But the reason I say this is good news, because really this enables us to take care of anybody and everybody, hopefully that faced a situation, a youth protection issue, and was affected by that in our council, and hopefully will in some way, shape, or form help some kind of resolution or some kind of help for them and support for them moving forward. And at the same time, it gets it all behind us, and we can then concentrate on moving forward and bringing families back into the scouting program. And hopefully we get COVID behind us pretty soon too, and that will help us as well. So I think that's good news. Now, I do want to talk about, I love this time of year. I love this time of year this year much more than I did last year, because I've been visiting camps and I've seen scouts in action at our camps, both day camps, Cub resident camp, and scout camp. And I have to tell you a couple of things that I just want to talk about real quickly. I had the opportunity to, at one point, go out. We had a troop from the Bay Area come up from California, and they took the train and they came into Eugene. We worked with one of our board members who enabled us, gave us the opportunity to take a van and pick them up at the train station and deliver them out to Camp Baker. I then had the opportunity to go back, because it was just kind of a quick trip, pick them up, take them to camp. I had the opportunity then to go back on the following Saturday and pick them up and bring them back to the Eugene train station. And all day long, I have to tell you, first of all, that we had decided we wanted to give them an experience of the Oregon coast and a little bit of an experience of Eugene. So we were talking all week long about what we wanted to do with them, what the experience should be. I was wisely counseled by one of the members that's on this Zoom meeting that said, you probably want to avoid sea lion caves, just because then they'll just remember the smell of the Oregon coast, not much else. So we avoided that. We went to Heceta Lighthouse and kind of wandered around there a little bit, came back in to Florence, and Moe's seems to be pretty popular, so we were going to have them have lunch at Moe's, and found out it was a 40-minute wait. And I said, this restaurant right next door is just as good, so maybe we should just go there. Didn't have to wait. We sat outside in the sun, beautiful day, had a great lunch there. And then we brought them back into town, and they wanted a little bit of a Eugene experience. So they had talked to one of our staff members. So they made a suggestion to them. So as we got back into town, we stopped at Voodoo Donuts. My hopes were that they would collect those donuts and they would make them to the train for the trip home. Unfortunately, I don't think any of the donuts made it to the train for the trip home, but that obviously means that they enjoyed it. And then some of the leaders and some of the scouts who happened to be on their track team thought it would be nice to stop by Hayward Field. So we stopped by Hayward Field, got some pictures, turned around, got them some Subway sandwiches that they could take back onto the train, took them by Autzen Stadium, our council office, and then put them back on the train. The beautiful and fun and exciting thing for me was to just hear them rave about Camp Baker, about the staff, about our lead cook, and the food at camp, and how great they thought all of that was. They were just very excited. I don't think they had one bad thing to say about camp. Great experience. The only, I will tell you, the only maybe you could be perceived as negative thing that they said was when they did go to do sandboarding on the dunes, that the wind was probably 30 to 40 miles per hour. But yeah, we can't control that. But they nevertheless had a great experience. And it was just fun to hear them talk about it and all the experiences and mentioning the staff by name. Just a lot of fun for me. And then last week was Camp Malacqua's first week. And I know there's a couple people on here. Fred was up there last week. Rush was up there last week. I actually saw Rush on Saturday after he got back washing his vehicle to get some of that Malacqua dust off of it. So, and I haven't really had a whole lot of opportunity to talk to them about the experiences, but I just wanted to mention this real quick. This is an email that I got from a lady in La Grande, Oregon. She's in Blue Mountain Council. And the beautiful thing is she copied her scout executive. Her scout executive is a guy by the name of Brett Bybee, who once worked for me down in the Phoenix area. So he was copied on it as well. And I said, happy to help any units from Blue Mountain Council, and please send more our way. We'd be happy to have them at our camps. But it reads, my sons and their troop just returned from an amazing week at Camp Malacqua. My youngest is 11 and just crossed over this spring. This was his first chance to go to scout camp. My oldest is 17, and this was likely his last time attending scout camp as a youth. My husband led the troop to Camp Meriwether and Fire Mountain. Sorry, I should have said other camps, unnamed. Anyway, 4 years in a row, alternating between the two. He missed 2019 because we were leading a crew on a Philmont track, and everyone missed out on 2020, of course. But this was by no means his first rodeo. I think 2021 is going down in the record books as everyone's favorite year, though. No electricity, no cell service, no Adirondacks to sleep in, limited merit badge options, no dining hall, having to stay in their troop cohorts, all of it. They loved it. I keep hearing stories from my husband and both of my sons about the kind and competent staff you have. I keep hearing about how our guys had the best campsite ever. I keep hearing about how the property is and how pretty the property is and how much fun everything was. I've heard more fun stories about the programs your staff led and no complaints about lack of options. Obviously, what you do very well. And that is so much better than having more. This was more than just, we finally get to go back to camp after COVID. I feel like they'd have been this happy even if we hadn't just had everything canceled the year before. I suspect you all will see Troop 514 again in the last several seasons. They've broken their decades-old Meriwether habit, have taken to exploring the other camps out there. They're looking to Easton, and they'd really like to get to Baldwin in there, but we had quite a few scouts go up at Malacqua this summer, and I suspect they're going to want to go back. It is obviously a very special place. So it's, I get teary-eyed when I read those, and it's fun to hear. And I pass that along to our staff, and I will make sure that they pass along to the rest of our staff. But it's really nice when you hear those kinds of things and know that we're providing a great program for our scouts. And hopefully Rush and Fred had a similar experience, I hope. But the beautiful thing about this is that these units then go and talk about our camps to other troops around their area. And we just helps us publicize and get more units to join. And it's all about, I looked at it and I think our staff initially would say that they were really concerned because a week before camp started at Malacqua, we were told that the forest was closed down. We couldn't we couldn't do outbounds. We couldn't hike the Middle Sister. And there was a lot of concern, are we going to have a lot of upset scouts and scout leaders? And everybody knows that, there's not a whole lot we can do about those types of situations. All we can do is try to make the program as impactful as possible as we move forward. So it sounds like our staff did it, and I'm very proud of the job that both of our staffs at Baker and Malacqua have done this year so far. So we're almost done, and then on to NYLT next week. But some great stories that I just wanted to share with everybody.
That's great stuff, Scott. It's not just what we say internal to the council, But as I said to you the other day, I think we're one of the best kept secrets in the Pacific Northwest. But maybe we can build on this as we go forward. It's very, very good stuff. McKay, how about give us a few minutes about what you're doing, because you're looking to the future again.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
it's super exciting. Build on that. I get to go and get my daughters from Malacca this week and pick them up and then drop them right back off at NYLT on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to spending some time up there at Malacca this weekend too. Is for Roundtable. We're excited about Roundtable. We've kept Roundtable going all summer long. It was we had smaller crowds because people are busy. Scoutmasters are attending their camps, day camps. It takes everybody's time, but we still kept it going. We're really excited for the upcoming September. I think it's a really important meeting that we're having. For the Scoutmasters, we're going to be breaking out and talking about ethics in Scouts, important topic that we need to have on a regular basis. But more important than that, for our committee members, we're going to be talking about the new recharter. Make sure everybody gets familiar with it. So we're really encouraging all units to get somebody to our committee member breakout to make sure they can get the new information about the recharter. We'll also have our Cub Master breakouts and our Cub Den breakouts, our Weeblos Den breakouts. We'll be having everything going on here in September and continuing this on. We want to make sure that we get as many resources out to all levels of scouting. We want to make sure that we continue to help those den leaders in creating their program for their Cubs. Our Scoutmaster, help our Cub Masters in their monthly Cub meetings, along with our Scoutmasters. And I think one of our most successful thing that we've done here in our roundtables has been our committee member breakout. It's probably been our most attended meeting throughout this whole last year, and because there's just so much that we have to offer. And we're focusing on a new group, the group that's looking at, supporting the units. And there's, we have more committee members than anything else. So, I think it's an important service that we're providing for those committee members. We're excited to keep it going. And our next meeting is going to be the first weekend or the first Tuesday in September. Which is going to be September 7th. Just needed to confirm that. September 7th, 6:30 p.m. We'll be opening it up for districts to be able to get their important messages out. Followed at 7 p.m. having our unified council roundtable. And excited to keep it going and have it continue on for the next year here.
Well done, McKay. Well done. It's a labor of love, is it not?
Oh, it has to be. And I'm really happy with the staff that we have working on their individual presentations. They love what they do. They are passionate people, and I really have to give kudos to them. I kind of sit in the background and help where I can and do a lot of the technical stuff, but it's really the individuals who are creating the presentations that really need to be lauded for the work that they put in.
Very good. Make sure that they know that we care about them, for sure. No doubt. Danita, you've also done some pretty strong work in the last several months. Can you share some of that for a few minutes?
Yeah, I think so. So on the membership side, we are just in the middle of our first ever sort of roadshow event. We decided to come to the different areas of the council and meet in person with leaders. This was our kickoff that we just have been doing. Last Tuesday, we were in Roseburg. Saturday, we were in Corvallis. Yesterday, we were in Eugene. And Wednesday, Rob will be in Coos Bay. So we've been meeting with, having unit commissioners come out and all different representatives of scouting and meet with some of the leaders in those areas. I think it's gone really well. We've had workshops. The things we were covering were what they need to know to do a kickoff, to get started. We had breakouts on planning and executing invitational events, which I was really pushing people to get together in August, and then also get together with a big back to school sort of event in September. Also talking about product sales, and then committee information. So those were the break.
Yeah, excuse me. Let me jump in momentarily.
Yeah.
What kind of population did you draw for your road show in Roseburg, and what did you just draw here in Greenwood this week?
Eugene was for sure the best one so far. Roseburg, I didn't get to go to. Rob went to that one. Rob, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How was the attendance in Roseburg?
I believe we had about 19 total in Roseburg.
Oh, that's a lot.
I'm sorry, 16 total.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a good population to come talk about how we're going to handle membership recruiting and go forward and so forth for the year. That's
Yes.
hot stuff. What'd you do in Greenwood?
Greenwood was really good last night. We should have had a count. I think probably about 20 people were there.
Wow.
So that was really good. Corvallis, we could have had more people, but we got to see some of the local representatives. Kelly was there, and I think Fred was there, right? And then hopefully Rob will get to talk to some people tomorrow. In Coos Bay, we also had a request to come to, I think we're trying to do Newport. And there was another area that was wanting to see us, maybe around Reedsport, I can't remember. But we're trying to put together, getting out actually to see people. So I think that's been really effective. We've been doing a lot of community events. We were at the Lane County Fair. We did the Eugene Children's Fest, or the Springfield Children's Festival. We were at a big car show at Valley River Center. And so we've been trying to hit some of the local events and just be a presence and talk to families and let them know that scouting's alive and well. So if you know of any events coming up in your community that we could have a presence at, I think that's really important, so that people know that we're around and we're available. I think the most important thing is just to really stress to all of our units that they need to be building community. We all missed out on that in the last year and a half, and the effects of that are really negative, and we need to turn that around. Our units are having trouble getting volunteers and getting people to fill positions, and part of the big problem is that the families are not connected to each other. Anybody who's joined in the last 2 years has had really minimal contact, and so doing some really fun things and getting the units together and building community and doing a family camp or something like that is really important. So we want to encourage that. So that's what we've got.
Perfect. So what you have here tonight, folks, is a whole bunch of good stuff that's going on. We've got camps that are well received, and they're getting publicly noticed region wide. We've got the work that McKay and his bunch are doing, and they are pretty much setting the gold standard for the way Roundtable and that slice of commissioner service works. Danita and her group put together great program ideas and membership suggestions. And do we have any comparative membership numbers year over year? Where do we think we're standing right now? Because I think we're doing pretty well. Do we know offhand what those numbers look like? We ended the year at 850. Yes.
Yeah, we're up to 1,020 maybe.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's without really getting, we won't see a larger increase in numbers until we're back into the schools in September.
So we've grown 200
and that probably won't show up
scouts.
till October.
Yeah, so you've grown 200 scouts through the limited things that we've been able to get done up until this point. and now we're starting to hit strides. I think it bodes well for where we're going in the future. It's good stuff. I wanted to say one other thing for the good of the order. There is a diversity, equity, and inclusion training class out on my.scouting.org. If you haven't taken the opportunity to run through that 30-minute session, I'd highly suggest you do so. It's valuable stuff, and that will help us move into the future. Okay, that's the prepared remarks for this evening. Good of the order. What else have we got out there? Lee is champing at the bit. Andy's champing at the bit.
I'll defer to Lee. But if not, I can be short and sweet. I met last night with program leads from 6 of the 14 councils who are in the National Service Territory. Under the direction of Candy Fossen. Rush, you and Randy may remember Candy from the Wood Badge course back in '98. She was one of my assistant scoutmasters. She's from up in the Tumwater area. This group will be meeting, for right now, probably once a month to talk about best practices in program, what's working in other councils in the areas of camping and training and all of those things that fall into the program area, so that we aren't out there, each of us individually reinventing the wheel. Candy is a person of great enthusiasm and leadership skills, and this is going to be a great benefit as we share that information that's going on in the Northwest, as well as Alaska and Japan with our council. And we'll get, I'll be amazed if we don't get some great ideas that are worth adapting and adopting in Oregon Trail Council. So just to let you know where that is.
Yeah, that's a direct outgrowth of the reorganization into territories and cutting out the area and region stuff. Because this kind of crosstalk and best practice sharing has not gone on in the past. So that's a good benefit. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that.
You bet.
Scott, did you have?
I was just going to mention, and I think our National Service Territory, National Service Territory 1 is ahead of the game. One of the things I like about it is most of the others waited until May, which at the national meeting, they approved going to the National Service Territories instead of regions and areas. And ours, instead of waiting for that to be approved and for that to be official, they started getting these committees and finding the people, recruiting the people for these positions well before that, so that when May rolled around, we were ready to go. So I think that's great.
One of the things that really impressed me is that the committee and my understanding is the other committees in the NST1, in addition to having a leader, have a vice chair. If it was a Rotary Club, you'd call them president-elect. Folks who are ready to step in, not just in case Candy can't make it to a meeting, but who are being groomed to take over the position in a couple of years. That's such a wise thing to do at all levels. You know, Cub Masters, Scout Masters need to train, recruit and train their replacement. And I'm glad to see it's happening at that high level.
Very good. Yeah. Lots of positive benefits going on here. There's no doubt about it. All righty. We're heading toward the top of the hour. Finish on time is what I assured you we'd do. Anything else for the good of the order? Scott, did I see you raise your hand again? Oh, Lee.
He still had some.
Oh, it just happened that Leon Noble came by to visit me, and they didn't know he was coming, but we happened to be in this meeting, so I had him sit down. So say hi to Leon. A lot of you know him.
Glad to
Yeah.
have you.
And I had lunch today with my names keep slipping me. Tracy Bailey. And so we're trying to figure out some things that we can put together over here on the coast and get things moving. And so that's pretty much it.
Very good. Very good. Solid kind of ideas.
And I guess I got uninvited from NMILT.
I just think they've been having troubles with the tanks, Lee.
Uh-huh.
And I think they finally figured out a solution, and they just didn't want to run it all that much. So I think we're just going to go with what we had there, and then
So I got replaced with a buffalo.
yeah. Thanks to Kelly.
All right, very good. Okay, well, I would urge you to find your commemorative cups and bring them up and show them next time around. So we'll wrap this thing up and then see you again next month in our next Fireside Chat. Thank you very much for all those things that you do there, folks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.